for the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. If you could please silence your phones or any electronic devices that you may have. Appreciate it. Everybody's going to set the minutes via email, as if everybody had opportunity to review them, and if so, are there any additions and corrections that need to be made? Is there a motion to accept them as they are?
Also moved.
The one motion by John.
Second.
Scott seconded it. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Ayes have it, motion carries. Send them down for signatures. Does anybody have anything for mail that they'd like to share? Okay, moving on. Mr. Attorney.
I don't have anything for you tonight.
I'm sure we don't have any committee reports. There's no commissioner's representative. We have no old business. Brian, welcome. Congratulations, too.
Yeah, congratulations, Brian.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Or condolences, which.
Yeah, mixed bag a little bit. Came here tonight with you all to discuss something I'd like to have done for our department. As you all know, we lost 2 officers at the end of last year. Chief Orland Foster and Assistant Chief Lindsay Tandy both moved on. We're very happy for them and their new endeavors in life. Due to that, we had budgeted in our budget that was approved for them to be here all year. Obviously now we don't need the additional monies. Their salaries versus 2 new officers' salaries are pretty different. About $38,877 by my calculation. What I'm not sure if you all knew is that Jenna Turner will be retiring by the end of August. She has about 3 decades of experience. She's currently our juvenile probation officer, a role that is extremely important to our department, which is probably the most important as far as making sure you do your job right. They remove children from their families, they get them into placements, and most importantly, it costs a lot of money that we are lucky enough that the state of Indiana will pay for us. Jenna's experience leads her to be invaluable to us. The paperwork, the court orders, making sure everything is done properly, doing all of the steps that the state requires to pay for these services are a big benefit to us, because when done correctly, the state pays. If we do not do the steps correctly and the state audits our cases, they can pass those bills on to the county. We currently have 4 kids placed. The placements range anywhere from $300 a day to $900 a day. Those are generally 6-month plus placements. So we did an average, it's about $400 between all the different places we use. A 6-month stay is $72,000. If the paperwork's done properly, she does all her due diligence with keeping up with the case plans, placement visits, putting in the reports into the computer for the state. They have no problem paying for that. If it's messed up, they can pass that bill back to us. Something I definitely would not want to have to appear before you all to talk about. What I'm asking for is the money that we are saving between Lindsay and Orland leaving us, and then Jenna's remainder of her pay from September on to the end of the year is $57,140.21. I would like to use that money, reallocate it, so that we can bring in a new juvenile probation officer to train alongside Jenna, so that she can teach them all of these steps and processes and make sure that when she leaves, this person is ready to hit the ground running, because it doesn't stop for you to be trained. And as of now, Jenna is the only person in our department who knows all the current regulations. They've changed them every few years. There's always a new form. There's always a new process. I did it 4.5 years ago. I started talking to Jenna about a case, and she had to stop me and let me know that the way they used to do concurrence for these placements to get the approval from the state is a completely different system now. I would have told this new person completely wrong. I would just humbly ask that you allow us to take that money that's already been budgeted and approved for and move that so that we can get someone to train alongside Jenna until she leaves, so that we can avoid any mishaps. I know last year Orland had to come before you a few times to ask for money for detention costs. And that's with somebody who's seasoned, knows when to detain a kid, when not to detain a kid, which is a big one, when to get them out is also a process. So having the ability for her to guide her replacement is something that I feel in the short term will save us money overall.
How much of the money that you're expecting to save would actually be spent on the new position?
It's hard to tell exactly. If you approved for me to go ahead and get this process rolling, I'm estimating it would take us 4 to 6 weeks to even get someone hired. So that puts us, March, middle of March. So it'd be, we'd have what? That'd be, how many months is that? Like 8 or 9?
months.
8. So that'd be out of 36,879 is what an entire
Okay.
year of a new probation officer would
Okay,
cost. So it'd be
gotcha.
8 months worth of that.
I like your plan. I think it's well thought out. Most people, when they lose somebody, they want to replace them. So my concern is your safety, your peers, their safety, with Orland being gone and Lindsay being gone. I mean, we know your job's not easy.
Yeah.
It's not always fun. So, doesn't that concern you a little bit, or what's your solution for that?
I'm sorry.
What is your solution for that, losing Lindsay and Orland? I would think that those are, everybody would want to replace them.
We have replaced them already. We were actually able
Okay.
to get approval to replace them. We did interviews in December, and they started January 3rd. We have
Okay.
2 new officers. We're actually in the middle of training the adult officers, but we have several adult officers altogether. So when you're training a new person in adult probation, they have basically a peer mentor that works with them while you do your cases. One of our officers, Samantha Gilbert, I placed her office right next to Lisa Day. When they have appointments, they meet together so that Sam is learning all the steps, how we do adult probation. Lisa sits in with her and watches her while she conducts her interviews and appointments. That's how we train the adults. So we have those 2 positions already up and rolling. Samantha's actually already a certified probation officer. She came to us from Franklin County Dispatch, but she had self-certified. She took the test and paid the money and everything. This was kind of her goal. And then our other new PO is Emily Richardson, who's worked for the county for several years. We moved her from an administrative assistant position because she has a bachelor's degree into a PO spot, and we're getting her up and running too. And they're both doing awesome right now. Like they're kind of, we say we kind of let out the leash a little more and more, until we're certain that they're able to handle it by themselves.
I think it's a great plan.
Ryan, isn't Jenna, she does other things that no one else does, correct?
Yes.
So she's like a key component to your department.
Yeah, she does a lot with the juvenile stuff. She also does a lot of outreach she works with the schools, she works with the Department of Child Services, she meets with all these. Juvenile probation is so much more complicated than adult. With adult, you're dealing with the offender and maybe a counselor if they have one. With a kid, you've got their families, you've got their schools, their counselors, all these other groups, the Department of Child Services, if it's a dual status case where maybe there's a child's being delinquent, but maybe there's also something going on at home that involves the Department of Child Services. It's a juggling act, and in the past we've been lucky. When I was hired on at juvenile probation 8 years ago, we had 2 juvenile officers. So while Jenna was training me, I also had Lisa Day, who was a juvenile officer back then, working alongside me, kind of in a peer situation that we use now. But with our numbers in adult probation just going through the roof after the restructuring with the laws and everything, level 6 felons getting placed on community supervision and things like that, we decided it was in our best interest to put an extra adult officer on. So now the juvenile officer is a lone kind of position.
Well, after reading your email, I think all your numbers make sense, and I think it would be prudent if we would vote in favor of this. I'll make a motion to approve then.
I'll second it.
Okay, it's been a motion to approve. Bob has seconded to approve this Ryan's plan. I'll call it Ryan's plan.
Discussion
Discussion.
or questions? First of all, have you got a hard copy from Jenna of her retirement?
She's actually meeting with someone on Thursday, the retirement specialist from Perth. She said it'd be no later than August 31st, and all these numbers reflect that. But she's hoping earlier, so it would actually be additional savings. But you have to apply. I guess there's a 3-month. I'm only 19 and a half years away from having to do this for myself, so I've not looked into the specifics. But I guess it takes 3 months where you apply, and then they get. I'm guessing they're situating how much you get paid, where it's going to go, that kind of thing. The state needs 90 days, so she's meeting with someone on
Well, I
Thursday.
know how retirement is since I've
Yeah.
gone through it once. I set a date and within about 4 months, it kept moving this way. We're targeted about 2.5 months sooner than I had planned, so. And then, is there any, besides just the $36,000 salary, is there any other expenses? You talked about certification and training that would come out of county funds?
They're minimal. The state certification exam costs $50, I think it is. We have a training budget this year that is very healthy. We're going to have to put most of the training, say whatever you want about COVID, has gone to online and it's free. So we're not going to have to pay for travel or staying over in hotels. I know when I was trained, when we had to do our risk assessment training, I had to be in Indianapolis for 2.5 days. They put me up in a hotel. It's all online now. It's all Zoom. You're in like a big, you see the grids and there's 20 other people in them. You do it all online now. So it should be rather minimal. I know the state exam's the only thing I think at the top of my head that actually costs us anything is $50.
Is, in the job description, is passing those certifications
Yes.
Required?
Yeah,
position?
you have to have a bachelor's degree to get on, and then you have to pass the state certification within 6 months. Everything else is ASAP, but the problem we're finding is that, once again, kind of a double-edged sword. The online trainings are only offered periodically, usually every month or two. I've got our 2 new ladies signed up for everything. We can get them signed up, but our last, it's a system called Carry Bits and Guides. It's used for like thinking, like evidence-based critical thinking things for these. It's basically homework for probationers to take home and think about what they've done and who you hang out with. And, the next training for that's not until October. I was pretty shocked, but it's all online, so it doesn't cost us anything per se, but you just have to wait for it to come around.
Any other questions? Have a motion to approve, it's been seconded, we've had a discussion. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. 6 ayes.
Thank you so much.
So if you get 144s.
I'm sorry?
You got 144s?
For hire and carry, the 144
I
part?
gave
I
it
do.
to Jeff
Okay,
earlier.
yeah. I've got a copy of it from Commissioner's meeting.
Okay.
You hired a person to replace one of your new probation officers was a
Emily
secretary.
moved up, and
Yep.
so we replaced her with Miss Carrie Ruff.
Motion to approve. It's 144.
I'll make motion for it.
Jim's made motion approved. Cage, a second. Cage seconded. All those in favor of approving the 144 request for Ryan Fingers probation, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Ayes have it. Thank you, Ryan.
All right.
Nice job
Thank you
on
very
being
much.
creative.
Thank you.
Did good, Ryan.
Michelle, well, she's going for someone.
I'm here for 144 approval for a facility officer position for Lucas Walker. And it is not a new position, it's filling a vacant position.
Who left?
Ryan Shepler, Cross Walls, I can keep going. I got openings, so
She'll be back quite often.
I hope if I can get anyone to apply that qualifies. The sheriff did send over a couple people. I haven't interviewed them yet, but I plan on interviewing that they interviewed for jail officer positions, and Joey thought they would possibly fit in well at our department, so I'm going to interview 2 of those and see where we go from there.
Is it just not enough people applying, or is it just, oh, if they're not going to meet the qualifications?
You can't get anyone to apply.
It's just, it's everywhere.
Right. And
It's crazy.
I had spoken with one of the commissioners and said, I'm ready to put a sign, a help wanted sign out in the front in the grass. And Ryan, who left, went to commercial printing and he thought it was a joke. He brought me in a great big yard sign that says now hiring. And so I wasn't there, and Steve's like, it's not a joke. She was talking about doing that. I mean, what do you do?
I don't know, it's all over everywhere.
It is. It's terrible.
And some jobs are really good paying, and they can't fill them. I don't know, it's COVID, and they just want to work from home, or, I don't know.
I don't know. You know, a couple years ago, I would have a stack of applications, people wanting a job, and you just don't have it now. No one, and they pay decent. Yeah, you're not going to get rich, but they pay decent. And like me, I've been with the county 36, 37 years now, and there's benefits to working for the county. I mean, you always got a job, you have insurance, but you just can't get anybody to apply. And then when they do, one that just quit this week, he got a few months experience here and went to Franklin County Sheriff's Department for about $7,000 more.
Well, you said that.
Pardon?
You said that bad four-letter word in your sentence there, work.
Yeah, yeah. It's unbelievable. Everyone is hiring.
Is there a motion to approve Michelle's 144 request?
I so moved.
John made a motion to approve it. You first. Bob seconded the motion. Any further discussion or questions? All those in favor of approving Michelle's 144 request, will signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Ayes have it.
Thank you.
Okay, now we got transfers, and this is mainly just moving from one fund to another fund, because we're just shuffling the funds. It's not really asking for anything, so. First one up, coroner, moving from budget line autopsy panels to autopsy panels and labs, $5,000.
Make a motion to approve.
Second?
We have a motion to approve by Kay, seconded by Scott. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay, QCAP moving $10,000 from remodeling costs to maintenance, repair, and jail. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Kay's made the motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Scott, was that you?
No, it's Bob.
Bob?
Bob.
Bob seconded. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Ayes have it. Treasurer. Bum, 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 bum.
Yvonne to take a stand.
Well, come before you with an additional appropriation for my part-time employee for $1,200, just to, I think the main objective is to keep her in the office and keep her knowledgeable and understanding that everything's in the office. That's the reason for the additional today. I'd requested it back at budget time in my initial email. It's just, I can't reiterate enough that I really need her in the office to do the job, to keep up on the job, to do everyday tasks that need to be done, plus additional tasks that we have taken on with us starting that new program, TREX. We do our own letters in office and mail those out as well, and those happen from January to about middle of April. So it's just crucial to have her in the office at all times.
Is it crucial because she needs to retrain each time, is what you're saying?
Yes. I mean, I have to constantly, she has to constantly ask the same questions that should be just comes right to her as she's doing the job every day.
Because she's not there often
Because
enough.
she's not there often enough. I mean, working her 1 or 2 days a week, 3 hours at a minimum, is just not enough time in the
That's
office.
got nothing to do with her ability?
No, she has caught on great. She enjoys working. She gets along with the public very well, which is a plus. She gets along with everyone in the office. So she's knowledgeable and she knows what she's doing. It's just a matter of maintaining that while she's in the office.
How far will the $1,200 go this year? That's just $100 a month.
Yes. I'm not asking for big amounts because I'm not trying to reach for any stars. I'm too short to reach for stars. So I'm just trying to at least maintain her in the office for now. And then as things go, she is an older lady, of course, so I don't know how long, You know, and I need that incentive there for a younger person even, because as of right now, there's no younger person that wants that position right now. I know we were just talking about people not wanting to work, but it's just one of those things, so.
So I think what John was getting at was, how many extra hours do you think you're going to be able to get having
If I
this
can work
extra
her,
$1,200?
if I can work her 3 hours every day, that would be wonderful.
And this
because
would do that?
This would do that, because she's not going to be working all the time anyway, because there's times that she's going to be off for doctor's appointments, or she's going to go on vacations or whatever, be sick even. So it's not something that she's going to be there all the time for, but at least I have her in the office for those hours to maintain.
Well, I can see where that would keep her engaged enough in the flow of the office where during her busy times,
Yes,
she's more of an asset than a liability,
yes,
that you're not having to repeat.
yes.
Okay, I got you.
I'll make-
What is her hourly rate?
$9.54 is the hourly rate for
$10,
part-time.
so we're talking about 120 hours.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
We have a motion approved by Kay, it's been seconded by Bob. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Aye, you have it. Motion passed.
Thank you very much, I appreciate it.
Oh, you forgot to do your tap dance.
No.
Thank you, Lavonda. Okay. This is the fun one. Do an additional appropriation in the amount of $124,000.
Where's the rest of the money?
We had a budget to do.
I mean,
Yeah, so a lot of it was paid last year.
so it just pays off the balance we owe
Yeah.
Yes.
of the 320,000 total,
306.
306.
306.
We already budgeted 56.
So, need a motion to approve this so we can get this, well, they're paid, but
But I just want to make clear that this will pay off the 306 total bill, right?
Yes. Of what has been received so far.
Is there more coming?
Yes.
Do you know how much more?
I do not know how much.
I move in favor of the additional appropriation for $124,000.
we have John's got a motion on the floor for, the approval of the additional appropriation for $124,000. Is there a second?
I'll second it. It'd cost the people of Fayette County more money if we had been intimidated and backed down. I'll second it.
It's been seconded. Any further discussion or questions? All those in favor of approving our additional appropriation for $124,000, please do so by saying aye.
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 Those that are against it, same sign. Motion passes. Is there anything for our patrons? Okay, if not, I'll accept the motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Okay, the motion, Bob seconded. Bob's been busy tonight. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. We are adjourned.